What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel and another video. Today's video is gonna be very personal, very candid. I decided to shoot a video to share with you guys everything that's been going on, a little life update, and yeah, let's talk about bouncing back from disappointment. If you are new here to my channel, or this is your first time stumbling across my videos, my name is Shantae, and I post videos about fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and anything I feel like talking about at the moment. Please hit that subscribe button if that sounds like something that you're interested in, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed of all of my upcoming videos. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 17 years. When I first had my first child, I was really in a stage of really not knowing who I was. I've talked about this before. I got pregnant right away after I got married. So I was thrusted into motherhood and it really consumed me. So I didn't have a lot of my own identity yet. I think I said all that to say, the Lord told me to stay home with my kids. I have 3, and every single time I had a child, it was just like confirmed even more that God was like strongly telling me, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stay home with your children. Now, I don't know how controversial this topic is. There is a lot of different conversations about being a stay-at-home mom, but I know for me personally, that was what I was supposed to do. Now, with that being said, it took me a long time to get to the place where I was at peace with the fact that that was what I was supposed to do, and other people didn't really understand it, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? For the first several years, it was very hard for me to just own it. You know what I'm saying? To stand in that and be like, this is what it is. If you don't like it, so what? You know, it took me a really long time to get there. Being a stay-at-home mom, and this is such a hard conversation to have. You're vulnerable in these areas that we tend to kind of keep to ourselves. You open up the door for other people's opinions, and I guess it's gonna just be what it is. I'm trying not to cry too when I'm talking about this. There was so much judgment from people, women especially, about, you know, you're a stay-at-home mom, what do you do all day? That whole mentality, you know what I'm saying? That whole of you're lazy, you don't do anything because you don't go to work every day. Or I don't know if it was shame. I carried that with me for a long time. That judgment, that opinion of I'm lazy. This is so hard to talk about. I've never ever talked about this, but it was really hard. When I knew that that was what I was supposed to do, but people didn't understand it, you know? It took me a long time to get to the point where I was okay with it. You're a stay-at-home mom and you don't necessarily work a traditional job. Let me just encourage you that you're an awesome woman, you're an awesome mom, and you are so much more than just that title or that position. You have purpose and you have destiny. And even if your path is a little different, it doesn't make you any less great. The Lord told me to stay home with my kids, and I have 3. So as you can imagine, every time I had a kid, that just prolonged my stay-at-home mom role. I think about around the time I had my 3rd kid, I was good with it. I was okay. You know, I was like, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. Within that time period, I made attempts to, you know, look for things to do, like as far as career paths, side hustles, if you will. The other thing was, okay, I was like, well, maybe at some point, you know, I could get a job. It's crazy because I have had moments where I applied to somewhere, and I'm like, no lie, honest to God, I applied to somewhere, I get a call back immediately, or like there's so much interest, the person on the other end is so excited to talk to me, so excited to meet me. People are like calling me right back, and it's like, yeah, we want to interview, da. And I will go to either schedule the interview, get to the interview, something, and it just won't happen. Like the job will not come to fruition. And this has been years and years of this, right? So fast forward to the last few months. I was so frustrated with just life and the way things were going. And I was like, okay, I want to get a job. I needed a change. You know, I was just really bored and tired of just kind of feeling like I didn't have any purpose. And this has been ongoing for years, okay? I'm gonna get to a good part, so just please bear with me in this video. So I got to this place, and this year I made up my mind. I was like, I want to go to work. I want to get a job. And I started looking for jobs. And I, you know, perfected my resume or improved it. And I was putting it out there. And I was getting some hits off of, you know, my blog and off of my resume. I got a call from, well, it was a message, an email, whatever, from this particular company, a bridal salon. And the manager, whatever, she loved me. She was so excited to meet with me. She wanted to meet for an interview. From past experience, I used to work in the bridal industry. I was a wedding planner, and I was also a sales associate or bridal consultant at a bridal salon here in Norfolk, Virginia, where I live. I met with her, did an interview. She was so sweet. Everything was good. We were talking, and she seemed like really excited, you know, like wanting to work with me or whatever. And the owner of the store came out and was like, we love you. We love your page. We love your blog. We think you're so perfect for this job. I was just like, wow. You know, I got this call like not even 2 days after putting my application in or my resume in, getting this call. And it was happening so fast. I was hired probably a few days later. I was so excited to work at this company. This seemed like a really good staff, a good environment, so I was really looking forward to it. I started the job, everything was going great, you know what I'm saying? It was an adjustment. I had to learn how to go to work, you know, and still do everything that I was normally doing. We had a big family conference and sat everybody down. I had been picking my kids up from school for the last several years. I put my youngest son into an aftercare program. And my daughter, instead of getting picked up every day, started riding the bus. So it was just like a lot of changes, a lot of like uncomfortable adjustments everybody had to make because I was gonna go to work. So fast forward a couple of weeks, there was this particular event that the shop that I worked for was putting on in another state. And so it required me to travel and go to work the event. It wasn't the best situation. I was, you know, I was going to do what I had to do as an employee. You know, some things that I had to get used to. The company was foreign. They weren't like an American company. So it was a little bit of a language barrier and a cultural barrier there. You know, it was some adjustments that had to be made. And I was completely open to that. I was completely flexible, teachable, whatever you want to call it. So that was like about 4 or 5 days of being out of town and working this particular event. There was some discomfort and some adjustments and some challenges along the way during that trip. So when I get back, I find out that, well, they gave me the day off because we had been traveling and I was supposed to come in and report to work the next day after that. And that same morning when I'm getting ready to go into work, I get a call from the manager saying that they no longer wanted to work with me and that I would be let go. So needless to say, something didn't communicate properly. I missed a step. I dropped the ball somewhere and they just weren't happy with my performance, I guess, during the event time out of town. And so I got fired. I thought it was a dream job. In essence, it was to some degree. It was a dream job in the area of what it was, okay? Like the bridal industry, that's a dream job. The hours were pretty reasonable for the most part. It wasn't like every single day for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. It was a dream job in that respect, but the inner workings of the company and some of the ways that they did things, that wasn't a dream. And I was willing to overlook a lot of it because I was like, you know, it's a new job, it's a learning curve. I was totally willing to make the adjustments. I was totally willing to, you know, take responsibility for anything that I didn't do properly. And yeah, so I was fired after 2 weeks of working at this particular company. And when I say that was one of the biggest blows to my confidence and self-esteem. I can't even begin to tell you guys how much so. Sent me down a darkness that I haven't had in a really long time. It took me like about a month and a half to get myself back. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I was just really ashamed and really embarrassed. I was like, God, I can't even keep a job for longer than 2 weeks, you know. I'm like, I know I'm smart. I'm a good worker. I'm a hard worker. I love the bridal industry, so it wasn't a lack of passion for what I was doing. And I looked the part, right? I had a serious crash and burn moment. Like I don't know if, I think rock bottom might be a little extreme for what I was going through. But it felt like a rock bottom type season, okay? I'm just being completely honest. For me personally, it was just really hard. And it was mostly internal. It was mostly mental. It was mostly me fighting with the idea that I'm not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Just with the area of being a stay-at-home mom and feeling the heat and the judgment from people looking like at you like, what do you do all day? You know, and always feeling like I'm not enough to get this job and actually think, oh wow, maybe I am. I'm enough. I'm good enough to just have that blow back and say, oh wait, no, you're not. You're not good enough. Or feeling that way. I know that's a lie. I know I'm enough, but the disappointment of that situation was a blow. It was a blow to my heart. It was a blow to my confidence. Guys, I couldn't get up here. I couldn't be on social media really. I couldn't film a video. And it's funny because I actually tried about a month ago. I was like, I need to shoot content. I need to film content. And I attempted to film a video, but my heart wasn't in it. But I know there's a lot of different hype out there about whether Jesus is real or whether, you know, whatever. But I'm here to tell you that he is. He's the only reason why I was able to get through that. You know, after you go through something for so long, or you try something and it doesn't work out, and you try something and it doesn't work out, and you've done that over and over and over again, that resilience, be able to bounce back from being knocked down, to be able to keep coming back and keep bouncing back from disappointment. I know I wouldn't have been able to get through that without him. A lot of prayer, okay? A whole lot of mostly just crying on the floor. When you go head first into the pain, when you go heart first into it and you deal with it, your recovery time is a lot quicker. At least that's been my personal experience. And I have faced some things, you know, some disappointments, some hurts. And one thing that I have really learned is if you want to bounce back from something, you got to face it. You got to deal with it head on. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You can't numb it. I'm not saying it's an easy process. I'm not saying it's a quick process, but it will lessen the amount of time that it takes to get over it. And I'm a super sensitive person. I know that God made me this way. I'm very, very emotional, very empathetic. So I feel very, very deeply. I feel so hard. And sometimes it feels like it's breaking me, you know? Sometimes it feels like, how am I gonna come out of this pain? How am I gonna come out of this hurt? But y'all, I'm standing here talking about this. I'm smiling, I'm laughing, I'm happy, I have joy. And not only will God help you bounce back, but he'll show you, hey, I know you thought that was me, but that wasn't particularly what I wanted for you. I have something better.